Lotus Squad, welcome back to Lotus Tarot TV 444, and if you're new here, welcome to the Lotus Squad. Now today I want to talk to you guys about integration of the shadow self. I felt like it was very important to share with you guys because a lot of you don't realize that when we don't integrate the shadow self, that within itself can create a lot of obstacles and create a lot of blockages when it comes to manifesting our desires and manifesting in general. Now, I want to start by talking about what the shadow self is. Now, we all have a dark side, and some of us refer to this side of us as our inner demons. Now, it may sound a little scary on the surface, but we all have them. And it's a natural part of the human experience. Now, the demons that we have within us are basically a part of our ego, and they're a part of our inner child. So the shadow self, especially when referencing the ego, has a tendency to wreak havoc in our lives when we do not acknowledge it, when we do not accept it, and when we do not take the time to integrate it. Now, these inner demons that we have, they could come in the form of addictions, any sort of deviant behaviors, maybe a dark sense of humor, anger, sadness, and all of the parts of us that we try to hide from those around us due to the fear of rejection or due to the fear of not being understood. And so what happens is when we ignore that side of ourselves, we're literally denying half of who we are. Now, the necessity behind integrating the shadow self is to be able to help you become whole and to step into your light body. And that is the only way to do it, is by balancing the light and the dark, sort of like yin and yang. And it's interesting because throughout society, we see this war against light skin and dark skin, or white and black. And in a sense, that is the denial of our shadow self manifesting into the tangible realm. So when we deny a part of ourselves that we may deem bad or taboo, scary, and even a little disgusting, we deny our very being. Now, this journey, which is often referred to as the dark night of the soul, is not a linear path. It's a spiral. And when we ignore the shadow self in order to fit in, or in order to avoid any seemingly bad emotions, the shadow self then starts to act out. So this can come in the form of, again, addictions, angry outbursts, being overly egotistical, prideful, full of wrath, anything that's associated with the 7 deadly sins, being lustful, greedy, being a glutton, punishing yourself. And so we then start to feel like, well, am I cursed? Is somebody out to get me? Or why does it always seem like I take one step towards my desires or one step towards my goals, but then I end up self-sabotaging. That is your shadow self making its presence known, because you are either distracting yourself from acknowledging that part of yourself or just outright denying it. Now, the importance of acknowledging the shadow self is completely contingent upon how successful you will be. And with that in mind, it will take some alone time. Most of the time, the dark night of the soul begins where we start to shed away all of the people that we've known for years. Our identity starts to fall away, or at least our perception of who we are starts to fall away. Our desires change. Our motivations change. And so some of us run from this experience. We fear seeking solace in solitude because, again, the fear of what might come up and the fear of being ridiculed, judged, or rejected keeps us stuck in the vicious cycle of self-sabotage, toxic relationships, toxic mindsets, and toxic habits. So, I want to share with you guys ways that you can integrate the shadow. Now, before you embark upon this path, it is imperative to work on reprogramming your subconscious mind with positive affirmations, establishing self-love, establishing boundaries, establishing your self-confidence, and tapping into self-empowerment. Without these, the journey of the dark night of the soul has the potential to crush you. This is no light matter when it comes to integrating the shadow. It takes mental fortitude, strength, and multiple tries. So, these are the ways that you can integrate the shadow self. Number 1, solitude is very important. Without that, you won't be able to have the silence, you won't have the space, nor will you be still enough to be able to receive messages from the divine and messages from your shadow self. So, it takes you having to acknowledge what relationships no longer work for you. That includes family, friends, acquaintances. It even includes what type of media you're consuming. Is it full of gore? Is it full of sex? Is it anything enlightening? What are you reading? Seeking solace in solitude will allow you to analyze your behavior without judgment. Therefore, being able to find solutions or improvements to help yourself grow spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Number 2, take a look in the mirror. Once you've cultivated self-love, self-confidence, empowerment, mental fortitude, and strength, you can use looking in the mirror as an exercise. You can use either a black or a white candle, and you want to do this preferably after taking a spiritual bath. I have a video on that coming up about how to create a spiritual bath for those who do not know. But it will help you in staying grounded, cleansing your chakra centers, and clearing your auric field to be able to be a clear channel for the divine to show you your shadow self. Now, the way to do this, once you've taken your spiritual bath, you've cleansed your area and your space, you use Palo Santo wood and white sage, and you want to go into preferably a full body mirror. Make sure the room that you're in is completely dark and you are standing completely nude in front of this full body mirror with your candle in hand. Close your eyes. Call on your higher power and ask for your shadow self to be revealed to you. Now, in my experience, I had to ask 3 times back to back. And when it revealed itself to me, the eyes and my whole body and face started to morph. The first thing I noticed were my eyes. They kind of looked like those sclera contacts where your eye is completely black. The whites of my eyes completely disappeared and I saw those eyes come forward. The facial expression that I saw of my shadow self looked of sorrow and anger. For some of you, you'll see a smirk, and for some of you, you won't. It's different for everyone. But guys, be sure to drop a comment below once you've done this exercise to share what you saw. Number 3, meditation is a big key factor in tuning into your shadow self as well as the divine. Through these sessions of meditation, you will start to discover visions, smells, sounds that may flow in succession one after the other. But this takes practice and focus. And the more you do it, the easier it'll be. The more you tune into the divine and the universe around you, the more light codes you will start to process that have been downloaded over time. Number 4, this will take a little bit of research. You're going to want to research about the shadow self. Carl Jung is a good place to start. This can help you understand a little bit deeper about your shadow self and the importance of integrating your shadow self. And number 5, the final way that you can integrate the shadow self is tapping into your creativity. Dancing, singing, writing, making music, drawing, painting, and even just simply moving the body, getting to know the body, getting to know that creative side of yourself. That will help reveal to you your shadow self, and it will help you integrate your shadow. Now, once you've done all of these things, keep in mind that it's not a one-time deal. For me, I've gone through the dark night of the soul more than 5 times. And that's normal. So don't become impatient. Don't beat yourself up. And most of all, observe yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and what comes through to you without judgment. Be still. Love the skin you're in. And realize that in order for you to achieve great things, in order for you to stop the vicious cycle of self-sabotage, in order for you to be able to tap into the law of attraction, you need that shadow self. You must love it and acknowledge it, and transmute that darkness into light, so that you can step into your higher self and become your light body. This is where you'll start to see that you'll be able to unlock abilities that you didn't know you had. This will help you with your intuition and developing any psychic abilities you may have. So there you have it, you guys. 5 ways to integrate your shadow self for a better life. Drop your comments below and share your experiences. And until next time, stay blessed, not stressed. Peace and love.